If you are watching this video, there is a very good chance that you should probably stop studying pronunciation. In all honesty, I was talking with uh not even a client, a potential client. This is a couple weeks ago, and anytime a client first signs up, a potential student signs up, for a consultation, just to kind of see, hey, like, would it be a good fit in moving forward? What I'd end up doing, and some of you may be able to attest to this, is we just kind of go through a whole round of questioning. I'm really trying to understand, why is someone actually taking these classes? Why now? A lot of times when we get to it, it's because, oh, maybe there was a job change, or maybe we moved, or maybe we lost out on a promotion, or some sort of trigger that caused us to study pronunciation. But for some people, that's not the case. And so one of the things that I do is I really want to try to understand motivations, and that's going to be something that we're going to be discussing today. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, guys. Hello to Emmanuel, hello to Levi, hello to Milad, hello to Gansha, and hello to Bruno, and hello to you if you're watching. Welcome to your daily American English pronunciation stream. Wake up, American. We're here Monday through Friday, right around 8 a.m. New York, to make sure that you can get in your 5 to 10 minutes of pronunciation practice every single day. To guide you in this process, there's me. Hello, my name is Jeff. It rhymes with breath. It's one of the 4 keys to a natural sound in American English, including placement, pitch, breath, and trying to weaken your consonant sounds. But maybe none of that work is actually worth it for you, because one of the things, for instance, with this client that I was telling you about, was that he wasn't interested in languages. He lived in a country where he didn't need to speak English every day. He maybe had to give one presentation a year in English. He didn't really enjoy studying. The biggest thing, though, that we uncovered is that his issue wasn't necessarily worrying about pronunciation. His issue was, he was worried about confidence. He was worried about really trying to make sure that when he was on stage in any language, that he just, felt more comfortable talking to people. So one of the things that we ended up learning was that no, he would not be a good fit for studying with me, because in a lot of ways it would be a painful waste of time. He doesn't enjoy studying pronunciation. He doesn't want to do shadowing. He doesn't want to do all that stuff. The issue isn't really American English. The issue is just, public speaking. So he left, and we did quick research on how to find like public speaking coaches and things like that in his native language, and so he off on his way he went. So I think, we really need to be asking ourselves, why are we studying pronunciation? Because it's a long-term investment, right? And it takes a lot of work to do. It's not something that you can just immediately flip a switch and change your pronunciation on. Because people have questions like this. Bruno asking, why are vowel sounds so much more difficult than consonant sounds? My guess, Bruno has been studying vowel sounds for a while. This is something that is ongoing. It's something that, you make a recording of yourself today, and you look at it again in like 5 or 6 months to track the progress, because you can't track the progress day to day. It's the changes are not immediate. And in fact, a lot of times when we study pronunciation, the changes aren't even in pronunciation. The changes actually begin with listening and noticing. Sometimes I have students, and they're like, they're having trouble tracking their progress. But the reality is that no, they've actually made a lot of progress, because they've begun hearing so many of the nuances of the language um, so much easier. They're picking up the differences between like an I sound and an E sound that they didn't notice before, or they're starting to notice how the pitch changes across the language. Like before, they would just kind of talk like this, but now they can notice, oh, that person went really high in pitch, that person went low, or maybe they're noticing the speed changes. When you study pronunciation, the first thing that changes is not pronunciation. The first thing that changes is just your noticing of sounds. You know, but all these things take time. So the thing that I just really want you to take a moment, and if you're in the chat, you can write it down in the chat. but what is your real motivation for studying pronunciation? It could be out of just genuine interest. It certainly could be. I appreciate Ganshim saying 5 people like the stream, or 5 people watching the stream. No one clicked the like button. Oh my gosh, that's it sounds very tragic. Sounds very tragic. A little spike there. Okay, I think we're back. All right, so so let's just kind of run through some quick questions you can ask yourself to determine, is studying pronunciation really, really something that's worth it for you, or is it maybe there's other investments of time that would be better suited for what we're doing. So, for instance, first of all, really asking yourself, the moment you first started looking up pronunciation videos, why did you? And maybe this was a long time ago, but there's a reason, when we change our behavior, because there was a time when you did not look up pronunciation stuff. There was a time when you were not really focused on American English pronunciation. What's up to Nelson? So I need you to kind of think back to that time and think about what caused the change. What caused you to suddenly start looking up pronunciation videos, a specific sound? Was it because someone made a comment to you? Was it because you got a new job? Like I mentioned earlier, you're trying to maybe have a meeting or something like that. You had an interview. Like, what was the thing that caused you to start looking up pronunciation? Okay. I see Bruno saying, talking again about vowel sounds. I think vowel sounds, we have to tune it. It also depends on our ears, right? But I want to master it. My motivation is the language unto itself. See, that sort of goal or that sort of motivation, when students come to me and they say, look, Jeff, I might not even necessarily have anyone to talk to in English or any language that you're studying. I just really, really like it. I just like learning languages. It's a passion. It's a hobby. It's something that brings me joy. Those sorts of students, those are the students I love working with the most, because when you have that just intrinsic motivation, that internal desire to just learn a language, it's so much easier to work with because you're willing to push past the difficulties and keep going. Okay. The students who honestly I try to scare away from taking classes with me the most. Some of them still take classes with me, but the ones I try to scare away the most are the ones that are just trying to do it, purely for work reasons, or maybe because they moved to the country but they don't actually speak English a whole lot and things like that. Those are usually students I try to stay away from because oftentimes they're not going to stick with it. You'll be with it for a couple weeks, but then after that you'll drop off, and this is an investment that takes a lot longer than that. Nelson says that their desire is just a desire to sound clear. I get that. It's interesting with that desire to sound clear though, because for a lot of people, if the goal is to sound clear, let's kind of just like talk through this one, and maybe this will help you on your own journey. So if the goal is to sound clear, then that suggests that we feel like right now we don't sound clear. Okay. So then we also have to ask ourselves, is that my own interpretation that I'm not speaking clearly, or is that someone else's interpretation that's being forced onto me? Like, when I talk, are people answering me the way I want them to? Are they giving me faces? Is their body language suggesting they don't understand? Are they asking me to repeat myself? So I think because the reality is, a lot of times we're our own harshest self-critics, you know, and I know I am with myself. And the reality is that people are actually understanding us fine and clear. So like if the goal is just to sound clear, there's a real chance for many of my students and many people watching the channel, you might already sound clear. You might already be there. Now, clear does not mean natural. Okay, because I think there's a big difference. I think native speakers talk in a way that's natural, but I don't think native speakers talk in a way necessarily that sounds clear. Okay, I think oftentimes a lot of people who've learned English speak English in a clearer way than a lot of native speakers do, in all honesty. So really trying to ask myself, and if my goal, for instance, is to sound clear, why is sounding clear my goal? What's suggesting to me that I don't sound clear? You know what I mean? And Nelson, without just to pick on you specifically, but I know there's other people. This is a common goal I hear. I know there's other people with that sort of goal, but really kind of asking myself, why do I have this goal, and what suggests that I am not achieving it? Because it really may be you're already achieving it. So then, if that is the case, there may be an underlying goal, you know, um, behind that. So really, just trying to take the moment, the time to investigate your own motivation for studying, because a lot of people, I think, a lot of times I think it comes down to like a confidence thing, and people are like, "Oh, if I study pronunciation, I'll get more confident." When in reality, again, kind of like I talked about earlier with my client, maybe it's actually just like maybe we need more public speaking sort of practice opportunities, or maybe we need to practice, uh, conversational skills more than pronunciation, or maybe we need just more opportunities to talk. Studying pronunciation won't necessarily help you with fluency. Fluency is just, that ability to like keep talking on end about different topics. It's not necessarily a pronunciation related thing. Maybe we just need more opportunities to talk more. Or for a lot of students, the biggest thing is that maybe we're just not putting ourselves in opportunities to use English as much. We think it's a pronunciation thing, but no, it's just that we just need to talk more with native speakers. So like, if you had a challenge, and this is, I'll kind of leave us with this for today. If you had it, like if I gave you a challenge, like today, you have 24 hours to talk, to like physically talk. It can be on the phone or it can be through like a web call or something like that. But if you had 24 hours to physically talk with a native speaker, what would you do? You just had to talk to them for like 2 minutes. If you had to talk with a native speaker for 2 minutes, what would you do? What's up to Berta? Berta saying I sound nasal. I don't know what to say to that. I feel fine. I feel like this is how I normally talk. I don't know. So if you had opportunity to talk to a native speaker, what would you do? How would you go about it? Gancham says their goal is to learn pronunciation and sound like a native. Okay. Uh, why is that your goal? What made you make that your goal? They also asked us how to pronounce quiver. So it's a qui sounds like a W followed by a short I. So we, qui, quiver. So make sure it's not qui. Watch out for that E sound. So if you were going to talk to a native speaker that you don't know for 2 minutes, how would you go about that? For those of you who live in the U.S., I know many of you do. How would you meet someone new? How many new people can you meet today and speak with in English? Really trying to push yourself. If you had to add 5 more minutes of speaking English to your day, what would you do? How would you go about that? Just kind of setting up these little goals. Berto Nate's, Berto's trying to get kicked out of my stream. Oh my god. Nate's like, Donald Trump, you funny. Berto's got the jokes today. Yeah, so something I just would love to see. You guys can put them in the comments. You can leave them in the chat. I would love to know your own personal motivations for studying English, for specifically studying American English pronunciation, and really taking a moment to just kind of ask yourself, what is your why? What's your motivation for doing this? How are you then moving towards it? And the last thing, I know I already said this, but the last thing I would say also is I think it's really important, if pronunciation really is the goal, then I think we also need to start, putting up some goalposts along the way to kind of track our progress and to move it. Because I think a lot of times if you just approach it like, oh, I just want, I want to sound natural. That's my end goal. Well, that's a huge goal. What does that actually mean? So I think we need to work a little bit on also just creating our vision for pronunciation. What does it look like? What do you see yourself doing that would demonstrate to you that you've achieved your goal? What does, sounding natural, what does that actually look like? Like, I want to deliver a 10-minute presentation to a group of 10 native speakers, and I want someone to come up to me afterwards and make some sort of comment. Or I want the next time I talk to a person for them to ask me where I'm from and for them to be surprised when I say the name of another country because they think I'm just going to say like Maryland or Massachusetts or something, like something that we can use to kind of track our progress. Okay, we need some sort of vision. Some sort of vision because if we're just like I want to speak natural English, what does that even look like? So because the more you can actually visualize something, like the more in your head when like you close your eyes and you can see yourself doing the thing that you want to do or see what the end result is, the more we can actually move towards it. This aspect of mindset is really, really important. Okay, so I really encourage you to try to visualize your end goal if pronunciation is really something that you are motivated on. Just a couple quick things before I head out. Pedro says, "What's up, Pedro? He's nice. Hope I can study with him again soon. Love from Brazil." Thank you. Appreciate you. Thanks for stopping by the stream, by the way. Hope to see you in future ones. Gotchim says, "They all know. They enjoy American English. I'm glad you enjoy it. That's the first step. If you enjoy it, it's going to make the whole process much, much easier. But I really need you to be thinking about why are you studying American English and give me a vision that you would like to achieve with American English. The more specific it is, the easier it is for us to attain it. With that, guys, I'm going to head out. Tomorrow morning, we'll be back with more Wake Up American. We'll do some pronunciation stuff. I know mindset talk is forever. Livy says, I enjoy sounding American. So fun. I think, I think saying pronunciation is fun. I learn more about pronunciation teaching it, So yeah, let me know why you're studying pronunciation, what's your goal of pronunciation, what's your vision for pronunciation, and then also tell me some concrete steps you're taking to get there. I would love to hear those things. I'll see you all later. Thank you for spending some time with me this morning. Once more, my name is Jeff. It rhymes with breath. It's one of the 4 keys of natural sound, including placement, pitch, breath, and trying to weaken your consonant sounds. I will see you all later. Have a good day. Have a good night. Have a good afternoon.